So let's see how I do this exercise. Cthulhu has a whole bunch of goaty friends, as you know, and he wants to knit some leg warmers. Write a program to work out how much yarn it will need. Yarn is measured in gains. It's like a skein, but for goats. Okay, so there are 3 sizes of warmers for 3 different sizes of goats. So small goats, a warmer needs 2 gains of wool. For medium goats, a warmer needs 3.4 gains of wool, and for a large goat, a warmer needs 5.8 gains. And of course, each goat will need 4 leg warmers. All right, so let's see. Here's what the worksheet should look like to start. Here it is here. I've gone ahead and I've just typed that in, as you can see there, in Excel. This is just normal click and type that stuff, click and type that stuff. You can see those labels up there. Over here is a code window, and down here is my special friend Rosie. All right, so let's see how this is going to work. Okay, let me set up the button first. Actually, I'm going to add a bit of code over here into this sheet, and I'm just going to call it sub, let's call it run. I just want to make sure to begin with that I can get this button set up. So I'll just have a message box appear like that, and it will say Rosie is cute, which she is. She's such a sweet puppy. Not viewed, cute. All right, now I'm going to make a button and link it up so it'll run this code. So I'm going to insert a button, and I'll just put it there. I'll tell it what to run when the button is clicked, and it'll run this run sub there. Okay, so I'll just click OK, and there it is. Let me make this run. All right, now let's see what happens when I click this. Run, yay! So the button is connected to the code. You see this message here appears when I click that. So this piece of code is being run. All right, I'll delete this. Now I'm going to save this worksheet because computers suck and they like to crash and do bad things. So I'll just hit Control S to make sure I'll save it. I do that a lot actually as I'm working. Now I'm going to write the code. Now you might think that I start off by putting in the dims, and that would make sense, except that's usually not what I do. I put in comments for the big steps. Now this looks like it's an IPO program. Input, we're going to get 3 inputs here. We're going to process to compute the skeins that we need, and then we're going to output data there. Actually, while we're here, I'll just move this thing down a bit and get it out of the way. There we go. All right, I'll just put in some numbers here to get it started so we have something there for the input. All right. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to put in comments for the big parts of the program. So there's the input part, the processing part, and the output part. All right. So I'm thinking through what the program is going to do, and I'm writing comments for each of the big chunks. The input chunk is going to go there. The processing chunk is going to go there, and the output chunk is going to go there. So for the input chunk, let's see, I'm going to take these 3 values and put them into variables. By the way, when I'm working on the input chunk, I'm not really thinking about these others. I'm just thinking about input at this point. So I'll need a variable for the number of small goats. So how about I'll call it small and equals cells. Let's see, that's going to be this cell here, which is 5, 2. All right, cell 5, 2. Okay, that looks fine. Now I know I need a variable called small. So I'll dim it, seeing I know I need it. Dim small as SIN. Type SIN, and the system showed me all of the symbols it knew that began with SIN, and the first one is the one I want, so I'm just going to hit tab. Okay, so there's one. All right, so first thing the program's going to do is take row 5, column 2, and put that in the variable small. Now I'm going to do the same thing for we need these ones variable for that and variable for that. I tend to copy and paste code when I can. So I'm going to copy that and paste that in there. Actually, let's do it like that. So I'm going to need another variable starting with S, and it's going to get a different row. I'll copy that and paste that there. So this one is medium, and this one is large. I'll go over here and put in the row numbers. That's row 6, and that's row 7. 6, 7. Yeah, this is 7. Now, I'll take that, I'll copy it, and I'll do that. And make another copy of that and do that. So you can be really quick when you're creating this code if you think about how grabbing pieces and copying and pasting the right bits and pieces here. All right, so there's the input piece. I've got 3 variables. I'm getting a value from cells 5, 2, which is this one, putting in a variable small. Cell 6, 2, that one goes into medium, and cell 7, 2, that one goes into large. All right, now for the processing, it's pretty straightforward. Let's go down here, and it says each small leg warmer is going to need 2 gains, each medium is going to need 3.4, and each large is going to be 5.8. So let's get going with that. So I'll need another variable called gains. And while I'm here saying I know I'll need that, I'll just declare that. Now I had put dim s large is single on the clipboard before, but after that I use a clipboard for something else. Well, I use a piece of software called a clipboard manager. The one I use is called Ditto. It's free because free is good. Hooray for free! And it remembers everything I put in the clipboard. So I've actually bound that to Control-Shift-H. I do that. Ooh, look at that. I didn't get that right, but anyway. It shows me the things I put in the clipboard. I can go down, select this one, hit Enter. Ah, look at that. Isn't that cool? So I'd highly recommend using Ditto. There's a link to it in our course website somewhere, or you can just Google Ditto Clipboard Manager. That's the Windows version. There are similar things for Mac as well. So gains is going to equal the small, let me type SS and hit Control Space, because I'd rather not type SSMALL if I can. Get the computer to do the work. So SS Control Space. The computer looks at all the symbols, it knows it begins with SS, and there's only one of them. Small, so it just puts that in there. Now one of these takes 2 skeins plus S medium Control Space. Now there's only one symbol beginning with that, so that works nicely, times 3.4. I'm getting those values from down here, by the way. So a small leg warmer takes 2 skeins, medium leg warmer takes 3.4, a large one takes 5.8. So it's going to be plus SL Control Space, and there are actually 2 symbols that begin with SL that the editor knows about. So that's the one I want. It's highlighted, so I'll press Tab. Voila, times 5.8. Okay, that's fine, except goats have 4 legs. So I need to multiply this whole thing by 4, so times 4, and I'll move this back here. Now notice I didn't put any spaces around any of this. VBA, the editor, will do that for me. I'll just go over here. In fact, I'm just going to press the down arrow and notice how all that thing got done quite nicely. Last thing, so we've taken these and we've put them into variables. We've used those to compute the number of gains we'll need, and now we'll output that, and that's going to go down to this cell here, which is 11, 2. So cells 11, 2, and I'm not worrying about capitalization or spacing, is SG, control space, tab. Ooh, look at that. I save before I run anything because computers suck. All right. When I finish typing in some code, the first thing I do is I run through it just in my head and make sure that all of the names and things match. We've been doing that as we go along. Some people will just hit run at this point without checking it. I find that less productive because when I do that, then I have to go hunt down errors that I would have just noticed anyway if I just read the code. So let's see, that looks fine. Medium is single, S is single, S gains is single. They're all numeric variables. That is that variable name. Cells 5.2 is right. Cell 6.2 is right. Cell 7.2 is right. S medium is declared up here. S large is declared up there. Processing this formula S small times 2. S small times 2. S medium times 3.4. It looks okay. Large times 5.8. And goats have 4 legs, so we do that. All right. So we're ready to test it. Now, exercises usually have some output that you can check things against. So if a code is correct, and I hit run right now, so we've got 1, 1, and 1, 1, 1, and 1, we should get 44.8. Will we? Yay! Victory or Sovereign God! All right, let's go down further. Let's see, 16, 32, and 8. So let's put those 16, 32, and 8. The uber geeks amongst you will have noticed that these are all powers of 2. When someone uses powers of 2 in an example like this, like 8 is 2 cubed, and this is 2 to the 4th and 2 to the 5th. If you see powers of 2, then you're probably dealing with a geek who's just amusing him or herself this way. So we should get 748.8. So let's see what happens. We click run. Whoa! 748.8. So I'm going to save that. Everything's indented and it's ready to turn in. Hooray!